Before we get started, please go over to Amazon.com and grab a copy of my book, Education and Justice. If you have an African-American son in public school, you need this book because I teach you the many ways that public schools mistreat African-American boys and what you can do to help your son. So go over there and get your copy immediately. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, you are witnessing in real time the Supreme Court going back and forth with district courts. I don't know if you've heard, so let me inform you. A district judge, a lower judge, issued another universal injunction against Trump's executive order. And it was done, like I told you in previous videos, it was done pursuant to a class action lawsuit. So the district judge certified this class action lawsuit in what I would call record time. I don't know if it breaks any records, but this was done fast. And it's not surprising because the ACLU likely had the class action lawsuit already drawn up and ready to go in anticipation that SCOTUS would do exactly what it did. So the judge absolutely issued a universal injunction by certifying the class action lawsuit. So I am actually enjoying the back and forth that I see with these courts because this is what we do. This is a part of litigation. This is precisely what we do as litigants, as attorneys with, our clients. If the opposing counsel gets something good done for his or her client, then we file something to try to overcome it, to try to get something better. And that is what is happening now between parents and children who are affected by Trump's executive order and the Trump administration. They're going back and forward, and we also again see the back and forward between SCOTUS and the district court judges. So I want to take you to an article and read a little bit of this. This is fascinating, and it's just fun to watch. So here it is. This is a CNN article. It's entitled "Federal Judge Issues New Nationwide Block Against Trump's Order Seeking to End Birthright Citizenship." All right, so as you see, it reads, a federal judge agreed Thursday to issue a new nationwide block against President Donald Trump's executive order seeking to end birthright citizenship. The ruling from U.S. District Judge Joseph LaPonte is significant because the Supreme Court last month curbed the power of lower court judges to issue nationwide injunctions while keeping intact the ability of plaintiffs to seek a widespread block of the order through class action lawsuits, which is what happened Thursday in New Hampshire. Ruling from the bench, that means he didn't write it out as of then, he probably has by now. LaPlante granted a request from immigration rights attorneys to certify a nationwide class that will be comprised only of those deprived of citizenship and issued a preliminary injunction indefinitely blocking Trump's day one order from being enforced against any baby born after February 20th. So this is indefinite. They don't have to go back to court and get it renewed. It is an indefinite injunction until SCOTUS deals with the issue. All right, let's keep reading and I'll tell you what Trump likely will do next or could possibly do next. All right, it says, the judge says the preliminary injunction is just not a close call to the court. LaPlante said during a hearing, the deprivation of U.S. citizenship and an abrupt change of policy that was longstanding, that's irreparable harm. U.S. citizenship, the judge added, is the greatest privilege that exists in the world. The judge, an appointee of former President George W. Bush, said he would pause his order for several days to give the Trump administration time to appeal his decision. That's what I was going to tell you the Trump administration most likely will do. they will file an appeal, but they may also do what they did the last time, and that is file an emergency application asking SCOTUS to stay or to enjoin or to stop this latest universal injunction. That's what I believe will likely happen here. Okay? Now, whether SCOTUS will enjoin this very latest universal injunction, I don't know. My best guess would be probably, because, again, those 6 justices are really in Trump's corner. I mean, he put 3 of them on the court, and the other 3 share their ideology. I mean, that's the advantage that Trump has. He has a very favorable Supreme Court on his side. So my guess is they will, but I can't say for sure. All right, so let's jump down and read a little more. And by the way, you did see that the judge was appointed by a Republican president, Bush. So it's not like he is a liberal judge or appointed by a liberal president. He, too, probably share a lot of their ideology. But when it comes to birthright citizenship, that's on a whole nother level. And the case that you've heard me cite so many times is pretty clear about birthright citizenship. U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark. That is the controlling case. And so when SCOTUS finally rules on the constitutionality of Trump's executive order redefining birthright citizenship, that is the precedent. That's the case that they're going to have to deal with. All right. So we will see. I have really no guess on that. Well, I guess if you twisted my arm and said, what do you think they will do in terms of the constitutionality of birthright citizenship, redefine it in the way that Trump wants. Basically, Trump wants the court to say that children of parents who were not born here, those children do not become citizens because they're born in the country. And that they would argue because those children are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States. Well, the issue has already been dealt with. And I've told you, again, U.S. Wong Kim Ark held that children born of parents, even parents from another country, are still citizens, so long as they were born here, provided those parents are not diplomats, ambassadors, or aliens of a foreign hostile country. So those are the 2 exceptions. If a child is born here, if a child is born in this country, that child is a citizen unless their parents are aliens of a hostile country, number 1, or number 2, the parents are diplomats or ambassadors. There is no language in this case, I keep citing U.S. versus Wong Kim Ark, about parents who are in the country illegally. So SCOTUS back then, this was back in 1898, did not carve out that exception. Only the 2 I just gave you. So if you twisted my arm, I know that conservatives don't like the way things are right now. And those 6 folks on the court are conservative. So if you twisted my arm and said, just give us your best guess, I would say that they likely will carve out that exception and add to those exceptions that parents who are born, parents who are in the country legally, their children cannot be citizens merely because they were born here. Now, I don't know that to be the case. I'm purely speculating, but I'm speculating based on how I know that, conservatives don't like granting citizenship to children whose parents are in the country legally. They've talked about it many times, and many different ones, like Ron DeSantis, governor of Florida. He's on the record saying it should be changed. You may remember Vivek Ramaswamy when he was running for the presidency. He, too, voiced the same thing. It's a common position of conservatives. They want to see that change. So if somebody forced me to give my opinion, that's what I would say. But anyway, as of right now, there is a nationwide injunction in place against the Trump administration being able to enforce his executive order redefining birthright citizenship. Now, this goes on to say, I'm the judge who wasn't comfortable with issuing a nationwide injunction. Class action is different, the judge said at one point during Thursday's hearing. The Supreme Court suggested class action is a better option. So what we're seeing are the district judges adjust to SCOTUS in this latest ruling. So basically they said, this judge, and I think others will say, okay, typically this takes longer to certify a class action lawsuit, but just given how serious this issue is, I'm going to issue it immediately, within days. And I think other district judges will be doing the same. All right, he goes on, and the article goes on to say, in his ruling earlier this year, LaPlante, either one, said Trump's order contradicts the text of the 14th Amendment and the century-old unfolded or untouched precedent that interprets it. That's the U.S. Wong Kim Art case. Several other judges similarly ruled that Trump's order was unconstitutional, but their injunctions applied nationwide and prompted the administration to mount the series of appeals that eventually landed before the Supreme Court. All right, who does this affect? Class includes children impacted by Trump's order. So Thursday's proceeding focused largely on the request from immigration rights attorneys who brought the legal challenge for LaPlante to certify a class of individuals that would include all current and future children who would be affected by Trump's order and their parents. The judge's ruling Thursday did not include the parents in the class. All right. The judge appeared sympathetic to arguments pushed by the Justice Department that certifying a class, including the parents, might run up against the federal rules regarding class certification if those adults each had immigration situations that were significantly different from another adult in the class. So that's likely going to be the point that the Justice Department, that Trump will argue in their, I believe, soon to be filed application for an injunction to stop the judge's certification here today. DOJ attorney Eric Hamilton had wanted LaPlante to allow for discovery so more information could be gathered on the adults who are part of the legal challenge, but the judge, aware of the urgency of the litigation, noted that such court ordering fact-finding wouldn't be feasible. So he says, you're right. Ordinarily, we'd conduct discovery before granting class certification. That's why I keep telling you this typically takes some time. All right? It would not be done in days. The judge acknowledges that. So this could be overturned by SCOTUS. There's no time for discovery. His decision to keep the certified class somewhat narrow allows the case to proceed without that time-consuming process. All right. And he said, I think that the class representatives or individuals who, if the class is certified, will present the class members. All right. So that's where we are with this. It is back and forth. Like I said, I believe very strongly that the Trump administration will absolutely, I'm reluctant to say absolutely, but I am fairly certain that they will be filing some sort of application asking SCOTUS to stop this class certification. But as of right now, there is a nationwide injunction once more on Trump's executive order. All right? So stay locked in, stay in tune. I will keep you informed. In the meantime, thank you for watching this video. I am Reverend and Civil Rights Attorney Augustus Corbett. Stay woke.